me know if you think that these pictures accurately describe depersonalization derealization. Let's get going on this. All right. So this is the first picture of derealization that it drew. Wow. Like whenever I first saw this, I was like, dude, that's kind of how I felt. Is I was just kind of sitting there like looking at trees and looking at fences and the sky and the material world. And I was like, huh? Like, it's like things just seemed off. It wasn't complete detachment, but it was very noticeable. It was so noticeable that I tended to obsess, and I would try to feel connected through obsession. And I even one time would like stare at a tree and I would say like, I'm connected, I'm connected, I'm connected, trying to feel connected. But I think this is a very accurate description. Beautiful artwork. I mean, I could see all of these hanging on the wall. Yeah, this I think is a really good description too. You kind of just feel like you're in this fog. You kind of feel like I feel like the green represents like this fog around you, almost like this swampy gas, and you just don't feel like you're living in the real world anymore. You feel like you've slipped into a dream world. It's almost like this looks like a dream sequence is kind of how I interpreted it. Wow. It's beautiful, but they're staring into the night sky. I think that stars at the top. But you can see the person is very dark and there's not a lot of detail to them, and they're staring at something that's very abstract. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, but basically, this also looks like a dream sequence. It looks like they're kind of slipping into another dimension, you could say. Maybe you see something that I don't. That's just kind of my interpretation of it. Here's another AI image of derealization, which is very interesting. It feels like, or it appears that their brain is absent and everything around them is a fog. Wow. And their face is all distorted. Remember, sometimes you don't recognize yourself in the mirror, which I would say that would be more on the depersonalization side of things. But foggy, you can't think, you can't concentrate as well is very common. Kind of putting your hands on your head, just like, oh my gosh, gotta make it through another day. Okay, here's depersonalization, which is where you feel detached from your body, from your personality, from your emotions. So you just kind of got this shadow of a person. There's no vibrancy, there's no color, there's no anything. And that's really how you feel with depersonalization too, is you feel dead inside. And they're alone. They're kind of walking. That's how you feel too with depersonalization. You feel totally alone because there's very few people in the world that will actually understand what you're going through. Very interesting. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say on this one. Some of these I may not comment. They kind of just speak for themselves, but I definitely had those moments where I would just put my hands over my face and I was just like, I felt like I was going crazy. I literally was just convinced I was going to end up in a mental institution. Ooh, yeah, this one was really, really cool and creepy. It's like almost like paper mache, but it's just, you don't feel human when you're depersonalized. You don't feel connected to your being. And so obviously this is in the shape of a person, but it's but it's greatly distorted. Wow. Again, I could see this hanging up as a picture. Ooh, that one right here. So you've got this kind of silhouette of a person who looks very disturbed, and then you've got this person over here. So you feel out of your body. You feel like you're, I would say that this silhouette kind of represents almost like your spirit or soul, depending on what you believe, if we have spirits or not. But kind of like your soul is detached from your body, and you're over here, your body's over there. I mean, it's not a complete out of body experience, but it feels like you're not in your body. And then maybe all this stuff represents all the brain fog and just inability to think. Yep. And notice how a lot of these images have the hands over the face, which could, your face is very specific to you as an individual. And also, so you're covering it up, meaning you don't feel connected to yourself. Also, just the anguish that comes whenever you're in uh, a state of depersonalization realization. Remember, these symptoms are part of the freeze response, which is also called the immobilization response. It's actually a mammalian defense mechanism that is designed to convey to a predator that you're dead, so it loses interest and walks away. It's playing dead. You've ever heard of like a deer in headlights or playing possum? You're frozen. That's the posture of the freeze response too, is you're frozen. And that's why I tell people whenever I'm helping them heal, you've got to mobilize. Your brain is going to be telling you, stay in your room. Don't leave, don't go in social situations, don't drive, don't go to school, don't go to work, don't do anything, because your brain thinks that that's going to keep you alive. Your brain thinks that because you're at a state of nervous system overwhelm, that there's a lion lurking outside that's about to eat you. And so your brain associates being immobilized with safety. But actually, in order to show your nervous system that there is no lion, one of the things, which there's many things you have to do, but one of the things you have to do is you have to mobilize. You have to start living your life again. And then we're going to pair that with getting into a relaxed body. That's very important too. I go over that in my program. And also setting up boundaries in your life with people and just learning to listen to your body. Also setting your mind on healthy things again, challenging your mind in a healthy way. All these things are critical. All right, we've got 3 more. The last one is like really, really creepy. Yeah, so this person is it's just a blank silhouette of a person. You kind of feel like you're in this fog. They kind of look like they're stumbling around. I remember whenever I was depersonalized, it was so hard to do anything. It was hard to talk to people. It was hard to work. I mean, it's just shocking sometimes, like just how much that it cripples your ability to function. I don't know what's on their leg. But anyway, wow. This is deep. These robots are smart. Yeah. It's like their face is kind of like melting away, which, again, the face is very connected to you as an individual. You feel like your individuality is slipping away from you. You feel like your personality is slipping away from you, and you feel like you're becoming detached. Oh, here's another thing too. My gosh, this is pretty profound. God, these robots are smart, which is actually kind of scary. But you feel like your soul or spirit is slipping away from your body. I literally think this right here might be one of the most accurate pictures of depersonalization that I have seen. It literally feels like your soul, your spirit is like being sucked out of your body, and you look at your body and it's like you have this shell. It's like you're experiencing your body from the outside looking in instead of having this inner experience. Wow. Profound. Okay, last one. This is really creepy because it kind of looks like aliens, which aliens don't really freak me out anymore, but there was years and years and there were years and years where I said there was. Sounds kind of, I am from Arkansas. There was all these years where I was afraid of them alien creatures jumping out of spaceships and whatnot. No. But there were years I was very terrified of aliens, and anytime that I saw like the X-Files or something, I would freak out. But, you could say that this person obviously doesn't have any features to them. It's just a very blank silhouette of a person, and they're kind of fading away. And maybe this other person kind of represents their soul or their spirit, like trying to leave their body or something. And then their surroundings are just very blank. So maybe this person's experiencing depersonalization and derealization, right? Wow. That's crazy. Okay, well, that is it. And this is part 1. If you were fascinated by this, encouraged by this, maybe this really helped give you a deeper understanding into what you're going through, which is really important because there's a lot of people that don't understand what these symptoms feel like. I think having a picture can really help with that sometimes. Make sure to like this. Make sure to comment something below. Let me know if you want me to do part 2 and part 3 and more parts to this. I thought this was very fascinating, even a bit fun, even though it's creepy to look at and talk about. These images were very kind of cool to look at. And also subscribe if you're struggling with depersonalization, derealization. And again, make sure to check out the resources below if you need some help. And I believe that's it. Peace. Have a good day.